everybody, Young Grasshopper here. Welcome to the Cliffside Bunker in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I got some big news for you guys. Big announcement. I'm really stoked to share this with you guys. So my good buddy Contango in Waterloo, Ontario, and he has been working on something. He revealed to me just last week, late last week, what he'd been doing and that he was close to launching. But he has been coding, programming my Grasshopper's G40 Tournament Edition rules into AAA, and that's now available. It is launched. We are live, and it went live today, Valentine's Day, and I am just really stoked to be able to share this with you guys. I did nothing. It was not me. I didn't help at all. He just did all the work, and we contacted a few people that came into the scene late just to help us get over that finish line. So big shout out to my buddy Contango, who has made it possible for everybody who's coming to my tournament to practice online. This was not easy. I mean, it's definitely a different variant. It was designed 100% with the intention of face-to-face tabletop gaming. And of course, for the tournament I'm planning in Toronto 2022. But he was able to just put that in the combined UK Pacific and ANZAC dynamic, the order of play dynamic. Now, when it came to the victory tokens, when a victory token was achieved, a notification will come up. But there was like a couple of tokens that he just couldn't program in. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the technical aspects because I just don't know. If you guys have questions for me, go ahead and ask them in the comment board here. And I'll ask Contango to come into the comments here and answer whatever questions that I frankly can't answer. I'm pretty, I'm just not inclined to this coding and programming stuff. I mean, obviously I know how to use Google, I know how to use YouTube, I even know how to use Illustrator and Photoshop, but there's just some things like this, building websites like Sireblood can do, things like that. It just washes right over me. I don't get it. But man, this is really exciting. It's awesome. Now I'm going to turn this into a discussion video, but I wanted to just get that announcement right out. And let's have a discussion about online gaming versus tabletop gaming, okay? So I am a face-to-face player. Always have been. I build game tables. I have lots of friends. I live in a metropolitan area. I can have gaming groups. I know how to organize events, aka my tournament in 2017. But not only that, I used to organize ball hockey clubs and chess clubs, and so I do know about hosting, absolutely. But when it comes to playing video games, and let's face it, I mean, AAA is a video game, a certain type of video game. There was even that one way back in the early 90s, that Axe Now's game, that real-time strategy. A lot of people still talk about that, but it was a cartridge, and I don't think it can be found anymore. But I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the online stuff. I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, if there is some sort of view out there that an old tabletopper like myself doesn't appreciate online gaming, it's just not true. I mean, sure, I've got a bit of a derogatory name for them. I call them button pushers, but I mean, that's like me calling a Magic the Gathering player a card flipper. It's the same thing. I mean nothing against it, but I appreciate tabletop gaming because the sheer fact that you can become a better player doing it is obvious. I mean, it should be obvious. I mean, you'd have to be pretty ignorant if you just think, oh, you can get the same type of, gameplay and experience by playing tabletop. That's just not true. I mean, on a good month, my group, 5-player, 6-player group will play 3 times. in 1 month. So 3 games in 1 month, and that's pretty much the best that we can do. Um, but an online player playing online can have 3, 4 games going at the same time. Now, there are pros and cons. I'm explaining the pros of playing online, and there's pros and cons to tabletop as well. So let's talk about it. So, the pros of tabletop gaming. Sorry, the pros of online gaming. It's the same with Texas Hold'em poker, and I keep bringing this up, but I am a Texas Hold'em poker player, and I like it. I like it a lot. And I play online a lot. Now, I play for free money. I don't gamble my money away. I'm not like that. And, I only play for points or free credits or whatever. And I'm not encouraging people to gamble. It's a horrible addiction. It can be. I've seen it ruin people. But I have a lot of fun playing online Texas Hold'em poker. Play money tournaments and stuff. I've won a few. And back in the day, we used to have clubs here where you could go to like a pub, like a Fox and the Fiddle or whatever, and there were these local groups or that would come in. They would set up all the tables. You could play face to face. So I liked the face to face playing of Texas Hold'em poker, and I liked the online playing. Now, I never did get into online playing when it came to Axes and Allies. I just like chucking the dice. I like moving the pieces. Obviously, I like the strategy behind it, which is a huge part why anybody gets into the game, right? The strategy. And, that could draw people to playing online. But let's just get out the obvious stuff. For example, when you are in a small town, you can't find anybody to play Axes and Allies with you. They'll say it's a long game, it's a geeky game. Why don't you get out and, do something, get a life, whatever. And you just can't find anybody that appreciates the game a little bit like you do, just to have somebody to play with. Therefore, to scratch that itch, you got to go online and you got to play online. If you can't find anybody to play with because you're not in a metropolitan area, or maybe you're just socially awkward and you're shy and you don't want to meet people, so that's an obvious reason to play online. The second obvious reason to play online is that the fact we're in COVID lockdown. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and people who prefer to play face to face, like myself, just can't. So to scratch that itch, I know a few people, well, at least two, definitely two people that I know that never played online before, and then during the pandemic, I would say around Christmas time, they said, okay, that's it. I'm just going to go online. I got introduced to it by a couple people. And, the thing about online AAA playing is that there's so many people that are there willing to help you get into it, willing to help you have your first game, whatever. And there are options. You don't have to play people. You can play in a solo mode by yourself. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on. I am tabletop or face-to-face player. I don't want to come across, pretending that I know what it's like to play online. Now, I did play once. I played long time ago. Wheat Bear, I think it was his name. And I rarely remember name, and I hope I got it right, but I think it was. Wheat Bear was extremely helpful, wanted to help me get onto AAA playing, and he helped me download it, get into the software. And I was playing Germany, and it was turn one. Was it first edition? I don't know, but AAA just came out. It just came out. And I did my German turn one, and I got diced. I got diced hard. I was like, how can I not hit? How can I not hit a single thing? That was my first and last experience with a random dice roller, because after that German first turn, I just said to Wheat Bear, I said, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Now, that could be equivalent to just, a whiny bitch just taking his dice and going home. Sure. But, I like rolling the dice. I like to feel like I have some influence on the dice. Obviously, I don't, right? But the skin rubbing against me throwing them a certain way, maybe me taking my satin cloth and rubbing the dice off, maybe in my mind it all helps. I can't do any of that with the random dice roller. Now, I'm not cuckoo, alright? It's like, okay, we need the random dice roller, and you can't control the dice, Grasshopper, so stop behaving like you can, right? So, okay, so face-to-face gaming, pros. I mean, you're around a table, you're socializing, you're laughing, you're sharing food, you're breaking bread, you're moving plastic pieces. There's something exhilarating about that. I mean, like, yeah, there's a mess. It takes time to set up. It takes time to deconstruct it. Dice are rolling onto the floor and making a mess. And, obviously you don't have that with the screen. But I mean, do I really need to hammer home the benefits of being around a table with buddies? Away from our jobs, away from our girlfriends, away from our wives, and just not talking about anything but just the game that we love and just hacking on each other and just, come on. Okay, so we reflected on two major positives for both sides, okay? So the negatives for playing online in my book, and again, I'm only going by what I can express with my knowledge, which isn't much, okay? So I'm not going to have like a 5-point list of pros and cons of playing online. I just won't, right? But I can talk about the obvious ones. And the obvious one for me, the negative is that, you can quit the game anytime you want, which is problematic. Listen, when you get 5 guys that come to your place and you spent time putting out snacks, setting up the board, maybe some of those people are driving in from a long distance, right? And they're around the table, you cannot hit that reset button, right? So I honestly believe that this is why there's 2 different styles of play around the tabletop versus online. I mean, this is the way I see it. If you say, no, there's no difference in style and strategy between the two, then, make your argument in the comment boards. But what I'm seeing, what I'm noticing, right, and especially by talking with the 2 individuals that never did the online gaming, but are now, we're conversating about the types of games that they're in, and they're playing a lot lately, is the fact that it's very aggressive online. And I can tell you 100% it's the same thing with Texas Hold'em, right? When you're around a table in a tournament, right, and you got there, you sat down, you ordered food, right, and you're playing and you get your cards and you fold, you got to wait 20 minutes for the hand to play out before you get your next 2 cards, versus online playing where you're playing like 3, 4, 5 hands at a time, right? So you're aggressive online, you're going all in with 8, 10, 8, 9 suited connectors. I mean, like, it's ridiculous when you're at a poker table, right, and you're face to face, and it's different. It's the same thing with Axis and Allies. You're going to play more aggressive, if anything, for just the sheer fact that you can just give up, stop playing, and move on to something else in your life. I mean, that in itself is a big motivator to play aggressive. Like, for example, somebody is doing a lot of crazy stuff with Germany. I'm just looking at my table here. So Germany turn 1, right? They take a sub in on the cruiser. They take 2 subs in on the destroyer transport. They come in with very little planes. They attack both southern France and Normandy and Paris and try and take out both sea zones, right? And they go in very, very, very slow, very, very slim. They got lame odds on almost every battle. And they're going to try and hit a home run when they should bunt. And what happens is it works out really, really, really well for them. And then they're all set. They feel all set to go ahead and play out the rest of the game. Or it goes really, really, really bad for them, which it should, because, you're gambling there. And you're playing loose, fast and loose with the odds. And then turn 2, turn 3, you just give up. You just say, I'm sorry, I can't play on, things didn't work out. It took some heavy casualties turn 1, so, I'm just going to give up. So, thanks for the game. You want to play another one? So, you can't do that around the table. You can't do that with individuals that are driving an hour plus to get here, maybe sometimes in snow or rain or whatever. They've been looking forward to it all week. They had to cash in tons of brownie points to get away for the day. instead of doing something on the to-do list with the wife. Um, you play that aggressive, right? I mean, okay, well, what happens if you're around a table and the German player goes in and loses the battle in France? Well, I mean, we do start over. We start over, and that person just does not play Germany. Somebody else plays Germany. So, you know, most of the time, the reason why they're losing in France is just awful, awful dice. Not because they brought in such little tiny units so that they can do all these battles all over the place. So there is a difference. I don't know. I mean, I can't say 100% for sure, but I mean, you'd have a hard time convincing me that there's no difference considering that that option exists where you can play aggressive and just, whatever. There's a new game waiting for you, right? Or you're already in 4 different games, okay? So negatives about online gaming, I mean, and that's where the aggressiveness comes from, right? Same thing when you're playing poker online. I remember when I made the trip all the way down to a Fox and a Fiddle pub. I sat down, I ordered food because they encourage you to order from the bar because they're an outside company coming in, setting up tables, right? And they're offering the space for us to play. There's about 4 or 5 tables set up, and I sat down and I decided to play a king high really, really fast and loose, and I got bounced, and it sucked because I'm looking around, I'm out so early, I'm one of the first out, and everybody's still having fun. I mean, the sun is still out. I mean, like, I came all the way down here and I just got bounced because I played too aggressive, right? So anyway, negatives about the table. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while to set up. You need the room, you need the space. Not everybody has the type of space that I dedicate to my game. They have families, they have kids, they have a dog, they have, just a lot of stuff. So finding a place to even play, a lot of people for years, have just been regulated to playing on the dining room table for some hours that it has to come down. And some people don't even have that type of space. Maybe they have a family in a small apartment or condo, right? There's no way you can play a game like this under those circumstances. So yeah, finding the venue and the space to play, but also getting to a place. I mean, there's always hurdles. There's always challenges, even when you go to somebody's house, right? Not going to start listing them. There's too many to list, but you got to get over those hurdles. And then there's the individuals that you're playing with. I mean, sometimes 2 people won't get along, and then you have to tippy-toe around them. There's a vibe, and somebody gets angry because of their dice. Somebody gets angry because a teammate didn't do what they wanted to do, and then it becomes awkward amongst us and whatever. So those are negatives about face-to-face tabletop gaming. I mean, you got to pay for the food and everything. So pros and cons to both sides. Listen, that time that I played and I quit, talking about quitting, right? I wasn't playing aggressive though. I had a very safe house type strategy, and the random dice roller chose to screw me really bad, and it ruined me forever, and I was just like, nope, not playing online anymore. But here's the thing. I mean, I grew up playing chess. I was actually chess president of my, not high school, but middle school chess club. And even back then, when it was just being cool to go on the computer, the Commodore 64, and play chess, right? Against the computer was the big thing. It's funny, I was, the horror classic movie The Thing has Kurt Russell in the beginning scenes there playing, and it's like I remember playing that. But anyway, that's how old I am. Yeah, I'm dating myself. If you haven't noticed, there's gray in my beard. Yeah. Now, what Contango has been able to do for me. Alright, I mean, like, okay, does this mean you're going to go back to playing TripleA Grasshopper? Or go back to it? I mean, I played all of 2 minutes. Poor Wheat Bear, he's like, help me do all this, and then all of a sudden 1 minute I'm out. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, the fact that somebody went through the work and time to program, my variant into that software, is that what it took? Maybe. I mean, but I'm not ready to say, yeah, I'm going to go online. It just might be the fact that I don't want to look at a screen. And, I mean, I just know that if I go on there, it's going to take away from my customizations, making card decks. It's going to take away from me making videos. It's going to take away from a lot that I'm doing. Why? Because I feel stressed for time anyway, already. I mean, but, I gave up even consoles long time ago, right? I was a big fan of the Sega Master System, big fan of the Sega Genesis system. And, eventually along the way, as video games got more sophisticated and whatever, but I found Accident Allies on the shelf, and I just preferred that. And then face-to-face gaming kind of took over, and I never went back to consoles again, right? I think the last console game I played, the last one was for the PlayStation 2, or was it 3? No, it was PlayStation 2. It was Resident Evil 4. So I played that game, and I finished it like 4 or 5 times, just over and over. You know how you get the infinite bazooka, and you can start the game over with your chest full with grenades and everything? You got the infinite bazooka that you don't have to reload. So I did the whole game just with the bazooka. That was the last game that I played on a screen. So, I mean, I'm not against TripleA, and I'll tell you why. I mean, this is a great opportunity for my rules to get like baptized by fire, like, excuse the pun, but I mean, this is a way for my rules to get exposed to so many different angles that we're going to find out. One, is it balanced? Two, are there holes in it where things happen and they're bound to happen, and they're guaranteed that they could happen over and over again unless something gets fixed? So, I mean, one, we're going to find that stuff out, if there's holes in the design and just how balanced it is, if at all. And we're going to find out, it's going to provide a great avenue for people that are signed up and registered to go practice. So, I mean, this pandemic is wreaking havoc on, and I don't mean to exclude the issues of the day and selfishly just think of how it's affecting our board gaming, but that's where I'm going to go right now. It's wreaking havoc on the ability to practice for this tournament that's coming up in a year and a half. So this is great news. It's fantastic news, and I just want to express to my good friend Contango how much I appreciate him doing this. I didn't even know he had the ability to do something like this. But in the end stages there, I want to thank a fella, Barney, that apparently is well known in the AAA community. He came on late just to look over Contango's work and help him get live, and we're there now. So I am going to put a link in the description box of this video that you can click, and you can go to Contango's map on AAA and play Grasshopper's G40 Invitational Tournament rules. So I will be shooting videos talking all about this variant. My 5th and last out of a mini-series is coming up, talking about, in the last episode, the victory tokens, the end game, the victory conditions in this variant. And then after that, we sum that up, and we seal the books on that 5-part series. We go straight into details about the rules, details about tokens, how to go for them, how to prevent them. Guys, when you're out there playing and you're sending me battle reports, and you go on AAA and you go on there and start playing, I mean, let me just give you a heads up, alright? As much as there are good strategies for going and getting tokens, The people that are going to win the tournament are the ones that know how to prevent the tokens, all right? So keep that in mind, because I don't see a lot of emphasis on preventing sides from getting their tokens early on and mid-game and whatever. So I will be talking all about that. I'm really excited, very excited for just the opportunity to see how this plays out. Gargantua has even mentioned that he is going to put up a couple of online tournaments for this variant, and it's just great news for people that want to try it, even if they're not coming to my tournament, to try it online, and people absolutely who are coming to practice online, especially when they can't get together to practice. And thanks just to everybody, not just Contango, who has gotten this launched and live, but everybody that's going to be involved herein forward, people that are going to send me battle reports, and I can go and look myself on the files, on the AAA files and everything. So, I mean, if it happens and I play this, guys, online, then, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. It just means that I'm using my time for customizations and videos. And, here's the thing. There's no divide. There's no split. There's no opinion one way or the other. I don't rag on online players. Online players don't rag on me. And we shouldn't. I mean, it's all great and glorious. I look at Gargantua. Gargantua embraces it all. Gargantua embraces AAA. I remember going to a Field Marshal Gaming Convention back in 2012, 2013, something, when I first met Gargantua face to face. And he was promoting. He was a major contributor to the launching of AAA, promoting it, showing it. He had a whole slideshow there. David Jensen was there here in Canada, and it just took off from there. He was a big part of that launching, and he was a gamer. He went on there, he created maps, he created tournaments, and he's a face-to-face gamer. Of course, he's been to my bunker while there was the Field Marshal Gaming Convention where we had our first game together. He's been to my bunker twice after that to play. So there's a reason why he's one of the top 3 in the world, in my opinion, is because he embraces both online and tabletop, which in the poker world is a deadly combination. If you are entering a lot of face-to-face tournaments and playing 2, 3, 4, 5 hands at a time online in between tournaments, I mean, so yeah, so it's all great. It's a great day for not just the Cliffside Bunker, but for Grasshopper's tournament rules and this variant. Even more evidence that these are finalized. I mean, we can't go in and change a lot of these rules anymore, because, and hopefully Contango doesn't have to babysit this map that he created for very long. I'm sure some people who are excited might take it on for him, but I mean, ideally, it's not something that I want him to look over constantly, month after month after month, changing this, changing this. Now, he did tell me to tell you guys that there are some holes and there are some bugs, so expect that. I mean, it just went live earlier today. So, yeah, just be mindful of that. I think bugs are just an accepted issue when it comes in. That's why we have the edit thing. And again, don't bombard me with questions asking me. Go ahead and put it in the comment board, but expect like Contango to reply back. And again, it's not something I want him to babysit for a long time. He's got other ideas and his own things that he's creating. So anyway, cheers guys. Thanks a lot. Good discussion and just a great day. Great announcement. Thank you, Contango. Thank you, Barney. Thank you, everybody involved. Thank you, everybody who will be getting involved. And check out the link in the description box. Those that know it and been playing AAA for a long time, this is something new for you guys to check out and try out. If you don't play online, but you love the concepts in my rules, maybe it's time to get online and play in AAA and download that software and learn how. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Cheers. Happy Valentine's Day. I've been cranking out a lot of videos today, and I realize it's Valentine's Day, but oh well. I love you guys. All right, cheers. Take care. May all your rules be ones. Check out that link.